I just don't want to turn your phones off.
That's actually great to hear. But I was wondering, you said that Idaho was actually, they took a scalar weapon and knocked out the swine flu?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that data either.
There's, if you remember the lights, the light flash that was over northern Idaho?
Yeah.
That was scalar technology.
Okay, and why are you saying it knocked out the swine flu? Where did you get that information?
Well, I mean, John Lear talks about this too, that they have, scalar technology that they can just let it go on the Earth and just put out a scalar pulse and it can knock out just that specific disease. Royal Raymond Wright, he used technology broadcast on radio waves.
No, I absolutely agree with you, and I've established for years now that there is a wave genetics aspect to biology, and it certainly is plausible within the science that I talk about in my lectures and workshops to have there be a technology that could, on a frequency level, actually eliminate a particular strain of disease or something like that. Healing is going to be much, much easier to accomplish once these technologies are brought out of the deep black and out into the open. I totally agree with you on that front.
But caller, you're actually saying that you are breaking a security oath. Is that actually true, or are you just making that up?
No. If my voice is scanned, I'll be picked up.
Okay. Can you tell us, you think disclosure is going on? Is it escalating, in your opinion?
It's, like David said, we're on the forefront.
Okay. So what about these triangles? Have you heard about these pyramids? David, wait a second. Have you heard about these pyramids over Russia?
December 25th of this year is the marking of us going into Aquarius. It's the new sign.
Right.
It's just kind of coincidence that this is happening just before that date.
Okay. You're saying December 25th, Aquarius, as in some of the French astronomers that calculate the passage from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius base it on astronomical constellations, and some of those estimates do center on 2011, 2010, that range. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. As of this coming into this new year, we're in the photon belt.
Well, that opens up many doors, for sure.
But why would they be wanting to open up wormholes or stargates at the moment? Why do you think? Are they letting something in, or are they going out?
I couldn't tell you. I have other pictures that on my site right here that I can send to you that are a lot different than the pictures that you're seeing.
Okay, go ahead, send them.
I just don't have an address to send them.
Okay, well, we're Project Camelot. We're on the web, projectcamelot.com.
Right, we got the music, so we need to take a break, I think.
I'm sorry, projectcamelot.org. We're going to break right now, and we'll be back at the other side of the hour. Thank you very much, caller. We are back at the top of the hour. We've got one more hour to go. So we're not going to be taking calls now. We're going to go back with David and talk about some of the other things going on here. But before we do that, I do want to say that some of my deep black witnesses in the background here are getting through to me, and the pyramids over Russia, I'm being told it's a modified version of the TR-3B.
Uh-huh. Right, that makes a lot of sense because it's consistent with some of the behaviors that we would expect with the slow-moving, gentle aspect of it, and also what your contact was saying about the idea that each of the corners is where the thrust is coming from. That's consistent with it as well.
Yep, I would say so.
No, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that we are seeing a big technology display that's clearly anomalous so that it's getting people closer and closer to asking the right questions, and the timing of Obama making that announcement cannot be an accident. It's very clear that when you and I spoke to Peterson, we know that the sources that he got this information from are at very high levels, and it was 3 independent sources that gave him the same thing. And again, what I said when I first announced this on Coast, and what I've said in my articles on my website, Divine Cosmos, is that it seems to me, based on, in this case, dream data that I've been getting, that this disclosure event will correlate with an economic event. And again, the reason why any of my dreams would have credibility is that I have this background of having done client readings, 500 clients, where I would dream for them, and the dream would give a very precise description of their issues and their life problems before I ever knew anything about them other than that they were going to have a session that day. So there's an established track record of accuracy coming through this medium, and I've been doing it for 17 years, writing them down every morning and analyzing them successfully to a large degree. If you don't understand it right away, you might figure it out later on once you learn the language. So the language has been saying to me for 2 years now very strongly that there was going to be some sort of major economic event, that it would look like absolutely certain disaster. As it gets closer and closer and as it really comes into view, people's sense of it will be totally apocalyptic. But I'm also consistently being told, and this is where I differ with the people that would say that we just need to hole up in bunkers and stuff, it's not actually going to affect most people very much. The dreams have said that, like third world countries and countries where there's a lot of poverty, may have interruption of goods and services sufficient to cause some substantial death. But in terms of most people in the West, I don't really think we're going to see very much hardship beyond a certain degree of temporary shock. But it does seem that disclosure is part and parcel of this economic meltdown that's happening. And this gets back into what I told you in the last hour, Carrie, that I wanted to bring up. A very, very fascinating set of data has just emerged. Somebody just alerted me to it a few days ago. I've had really a hard time concentrating on anything else because it is absolutely voluminous and wonderful stuff. And here's the website you go to read this. It's Peter David Beter, spelled BETER.com. So that is a guy, Peter Beter, and again, it's an unfortunate alliteration in the way his name sounds, but because it sounds like somebody masturbating or something. I understand that, and it's going to cause lots of laughter, but that is his name. The website, however, is very fascinating because this guy is a real bona fide insider. That's another double entendre I shouldn't have used, but anyway, in the 70s, he comes forward with 80 tapes, and he's just doing what we're doing with Camelot now, and what I'm doing on my website, Divine Cosmos. And I would say we, because Carrie, you and I have obviously interviewed people together, and I feel like I'm part of the team. So anyway, what we're doing is we're looking we're looking for data that correlates with what we now are seeing. So this guy is in the 70s bringing out stuff that really gives you a fascinating glimpse into some things. Now, there is a link on his site that is like a summary of these 80 tapes. He was making tapes and updating people, I guess maybe on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis. They were called audio letters, and I guess he was duplicating the cassettes and then sending them out to people. The thing that's so cool about this is that all of the audio is free, all of the transcripts are free, and it's a well-positioned insider giving whistleblower testimony, which I've never seen before in any of the conspiracy media. It's brand new stuff. But he's talking about the Rothschilds, he's talking about the Rockefellers. There's a whole history of how the Rockefellers came into power. And he's also talking about a war that has been going on between factions for a long, long time. And specifically, there's two things that I'm pointing us towards right now, and that is, he talks about in 1976 there was something called the underwater missile crisis, which was never publicly acknowledged.